truth?
What if we started every show like that?
Yeah, podcasting.
Bow, 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 bow.
That would be right on brand for me.
Episode 384. It is officially the year 2020.
In the year
20. That's hilarious. Yeah, can you believe we're in the future right now?
I love it.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so.
You have a good feeling about the year?
I do. Mm-hmm. It feels like 2020. Clear vision. Don't think we're not going to see that pop up a million times.
Right.
You know, I'm like really looking forward to, because like I'm really feeling like this is going to be like I'm sure I said this last year, but like, you know, other things happened. But like, I feel like this is my year of like my body being like my temple.
Oh.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Just I'm going to like really, because like last year I felt like I was kind of disconnected from it. But the year before when I had the miscarriage, I was really disconnected from my body, and it was like betrayed me. And I was like, I'm not working out. I didn't do anything. And then last year I kind of, you know, had like a new relationship, I guess, with it. Mm-hmm. And now I want to like, and now I like feel like I'm so good in such a good mental place and like emotional place that now I feel really ready to be in a good place physically. And I don't mean just like by how I look. I mean more like how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, and little things like sleep.
Ugh, little
Which
things.
are little. I know. I'm like, wait a sec. I mean, you know, like
so
sleep
sad.
is like a big one. And yeah, I was reading a whole bunch of stuff on sleep recently, and just it's like we already know.
Do you think, you know how Ariana
stuff.
Huffington's the ambassador of
Yes.
all things sleep?
Yes.
And that's her whole mission or whatever. Do you find that odd that she's so passionate about it? Because I like her message, but I'm like, why are you so into this?
Maybe it's one of those things where she saw the effects of how it like changed her life. Mm-hmm. And I think when you find a little something, this little like, you know, almost like simplify, like it's so simple, and that works for people, and people try it, and then you see how it works. It's very exciting to then share that message. That's how I feel about like the change model of my theory. I share it with goddamn everybody, and I'm like the poster child. Like, oh my gosh,
what? Which tell them what you believe.
So it almost looks like. So it's hard to describe it, but it's, you know, like a heartbeat. How a heartbeat goes up and then down, and then it, you know, kind of like boop boop.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
So really, like how change is measured is like you're in like a regular place, your status quo, like how you like like the default setting, how things have been for a while. Then you get to this point where, how things have been for a while, I'm not really liking, I need to change. And we think that things are going to get better because I've decided I want change, and I'm like going to try. But it's just like you said about organizing a drawer, which has been my favorite thing to tell clients, and they totally understand that, that you got to dump it out so it gets worse, so that bar goes down, and they call that time chaos. Ooh. But it's like understanding that helps, and then you get to this point where there's like this moment of integration where something in your world, like there's like something like reiterates the messages you're already learning, or you see some like spark of change, or you look at a situation and you have a different feeling about it, or you're able to stop or change a behavior, and you're like, oh, things are good. Like, I do see how this change is happening. And then you start getting better, and you like go straight up and then above where that previous status quo was.
Yeah.
And then you start in a new status quo and then go through that whole process again. But like that is the thing where like when people understand that, it really helps, and with in so many different categories. So I really like preach that, and I talk about it all the time. So I think it's kind of like that for her, where it's when you see that thing, you want to talk about it all the time, and you think, if I could just reach a few people with this message, it will help them.
Well, I always think about it. There was a bit in a Jerry Seinfeld act for a while about how night guy, like your night self, always screws morning self. And he does it funny, but it's actually
so
true.
Yeah.
Where, you know, for example, if you drink too much because you're having so much fun, but then you pay for it in the morning.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like we do that on a broader scale, where like we're on our phone too much or whatever because it's fun in that moment, but then you pay the price in another way.
Always. Oh my gosh, this is another thing that has seemed to be
I'm
like
very
a really
wise, Sarah.
Yes, you are. Well, you're touching on like sometimes I feel like there are certain seasons where there's like a theme.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, wow, this is like a lot of clients are talking about this. Mm-hmm. You know, and one of the things is putting in the effort for something where the payout is down the road.
Yeah, we're not very good at that.
Terrible.
As humans.
The same thing is like with sleep, and the same with all that. It's like you got to put in the effort. You know, I have this idea, this, and you know, we talked I think on an episode or so ago about how my mom had that work like mentality of you just got to keep going the whole day, and like until it's done, you don't stop.
Yeah,
and so. It's made me add a whole bunch of other projects at night that maybe I don't need to get done. That like it would be more beneficial for me to go to bed and then wake up at go to bed at like 10 and then, you know, wake up at, you know, whatever reasonable hour and having enough sleep to then be prepared for the rest of it sounds crazy, like simple and crazy that I even say this, but it's like I stay up and I'm like, oh, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. I know I'll like box up all these Poshmark like things that I have to get done. It's like all of a sudden I remember every single thing I have to do as soon as I rest my head down on the pillow. And I'm like, well, got to get up and do this. And that's not good.
Sarah and I talk a lot about how our moms are weirdly the opposite, but weirdly the same.
No joke.
Here's an example where I think there's very similar. My mom is very industrious, very hardworking, and doesn't like to sit still. She's not idle.
Yeah, same.
And has a lot of energy, but like also tricks herself into thinking like she's not tired.
Same with mine.
Right.
And same with me.
Well, which can come in handy, but can also screw you.
Totally.
And so she went to her eye doctor and said, so every night,
oh my God, I can't wait for
this. I get this really intense burning feeling in her eyeballs. Yes. And she was convinced that she must have some sort of condition or fucking glaucoma or something. And he's like, that means you're tired. You should go to bed.
Oh my God, Suze, that's extra funny.
Yeah.
And here's why. Last night. Because I wasn't feeling very well. My stomach was kind of hurting. And it was really hurting. And now it's definitely that shrimp burrito I had that was the culprit. Because it was hurting before. I thought it was like, okay, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. But that's another story.
Wait, can I just say,
yes.
Sarah came over here with this long anecdote about how she left coffee on the counter all day and then she ended up drinking it later. It didn't have milk in it or anything. It was just straight up coffee. Yeah. And she had convinced herself that was causing her stomach trouble. Yeah. And then she's like, or it's the shrimp burrito that like I got at a gas station.
It wasn't from the gas station. It was the number one burrito place in Dana Point. 5 stars on Yelp to over 300 reviews.
Number one in Dana Point. Okay, it wasn't from a gas station, but that's the way you said it. Where it was like, or it could be this thing, this poison I ate.
Yes, yeah, it was. I just like didn't want it to be that.
Okay, but anyway, so last night you were having bad belly.
Yes,
and then what?
And so I looked. I was staring at my phone, and I was like nauseous. And sometimes my eyes, when I'm sick, my eyes burn. Have you ever had that?
Where I can't say that
when I have like fever, like that kind of, like maybe it's the flu. Like my eyes burn. Like when I close them, they sting. And it's something about like, you know, kind of having a cold in your eyeball too.
Yeah. So, okay, I get that.
So I was convinced at 2:30 in the morning, as I'm making like the recipe, like pulling up all the recipes for like a party I'm going to have, like doing on my phone. It's absolutely that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it must be because I'm getting sick.
Aww.
Nope.
No, you just need
those
to
are
go
two
night-night.
separate things. I ate a shrimp burrito and I need some sleep.
Well, if you want to order a burrito or if you need like Visine for your dry eye, you're going to want to call the good people at Postmates. But actually, it's just an app, so you don't have to call them. But they will deliver whatever you need at any time of day. So if you are staying up too late, like Sarah, then you're in business because they can bring you whatever you're craving, whether it's wine or food or whatevs. You don't have to go to the store, and it's 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And for a limited time, Postmates has given our listeners $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days. To start your free deliveries, download the app and use code BRAINCANDY. That's code BRAINCANDY for $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days when you download the Postmates app. Anything you need, anytime you need it, Postmate it. Download Postmates and save with code BRAINCANDY. Okay.
Well, I know we're chit-chatting a lot about eyeballs.
I know.
But would you like to hear some interesting facts about ears and sounds?
Desperately, yes.
Desperately into those decibels.
Yes.
So I got the latest edition of Popular Science, and it is all about sound and noise.
Cool.
And you know what I loved in like the last 2 magazines I purchased, like Popular Science and then Psychology Today? They had multiple articles that you and I have already discussed.
Wow.
Researched, and I was like, oh, look at them. We talked about that 6 months ago on the podcast.
Practically scientists.
Yes, like our the stuff we talked about. Remember the dick pics and how like 50% of guys have sent them and like what they believe about the dick pics and all this stuff.
Yes.
Just in this month's article
Wow.
or in this month's magazine, and I was like, look at us.
Wow.
Hot on the.
I mean, we're amazing.
Yeah.
That goes without saying.
But I mean, we can say it because it is nice to hear. You know, and the people listening are in agreement because that's why they're listening.
Yeah, they're very nice to us.
And if you haven't given us 5-star review, feel free to pause and do that right now. Since we're on the topic of how amazing we are.
We'll allow it.
All right, so let's talk about animal noises that are off the charts.
Ooh,
this one's cool.
What do you mean, like decibel level?
Yes,
Okay.
so we can rate it on 2 different things: volume and frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So some animals have super, super high frequency, like the really like high pitched, noises.
Yeah.
Freaky.
Yeah.
What do you think those animals are?
Well, what came to mind was just what I hear all the time, which are peacocks.
Oh,
in the neighborhood.
I wish a peacock was on here because I would really like.
You've heard them screaming.
They're so loud.
They're so loud.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But they put mice and like a lot of rodents up in this high frequency, but not so high volume, with the exception of this trident bat. And it's a mega high-pitched screech. And in order to fit this pitch of his screech on the chart that this magazine created, they had to make the chart. They would have to make the chart 1.5 feet taller for, like, even on the, like, to scale it to the size that they have it.
That's what happens when anytime you have, like, a billionaire on a chart,
right.
too, where you can't even create
You can't even.
Because the disparity is so huge.
That's how this trident bat is. Imagine what that screech would sound like. And the volume is about the same as what an elephant makes. So imagine that volume and that, I mean, my ears are already, like...
So it's
you're a highly sensitive person, so forget it.
So it's not so high pitched that humans can't hear it, unfortunately.
Oh, I think we can hear it. Yeah.
Which is terrible.
Yeah.
And they're screaming at the top of their little bat lungs.
Yes.
No thanks.
No thanks. Oh, and imagine, and bats are like, they never hang out alone.
And they seem crabby.
Oh, do they? Have you seen those? That's really funny, because now I'm thinking, I'm like, I see them different.
You think they seem happy?
Yeah, they do. I think they seem like they are communal.
Oh,
like they're
maybe
not
they're happy
lonely
with each other.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, yes, they are very happy with each other, and they are very crabby, and they're like
about everyone else.
It's kind of like us.
Yeah,
that's not true. We like.
My God, we're like bats.
Yeah, there you go.
And we do have high pitched. Well, I do.
Well, you do. I mean, I was like over here. I'm closer to maybe the bullfrog with a mating call ranging from 90 to 4,000 hertz.
Hold that thought for the gardener.
Oh yeah.
All right, we're back in business.
Yes. So because that was like 1 million decibels. So maybe it's like on theme. Like,
right.
Cue the... Yeah, speaking of loud noises, right? So these bullfrogs that are really super loud, they're so loud that they've changed the mating habits of other animals who have had to learn how to like sing their mating calls in higher frequencies.
Are you kidding me?
Whoa.
Are we in the clear? We don't know.
I don't know. Check
the
decibels. Another one on the list, which kind of like is right up there with elephant as far as how loud it is, but so much smaller. This African cicada, it says it uses a pair of ribbed membranes on its midsection to create a sound as loud as a rock concert. It could cause minor hearing loss in less than 5 minutes.
For real?
For real. Could you imagine a little bug that's only
How do you figure? What do you think the secret is to that? creation.
Pressure, like force. You
Yeah,
know,
but
kind of like a washboard. That's what they're doing. They're like rubbing something against that midsection. And it's so much. Yeah, good question. Because why?
Right? It seems so, it's counterintuitive.
And especially since there are so many, it's not like they need to be louder for any like mating purposes like the maybe bullfrog would.
Yeah. Well, and you just associate bigger with louder.
Right. That makes no sense to me. But really the blue whale, they are kind of they're like the lowest on the frequency, but they're pretty high. The sperm whale is louder.
Really,
though.
they're on the frequency, and then what about
loudest? They're pretty high. It's measured in decibels. They're at about 200, a little less than 200. And the sperm whale, that's the Earth's loudest recorded animal that uses high frequency clicks.
Are all sperm whales men?
No, but that's hilarious that you said that. But I like that you did.
Why do they call it that anyway?
That's a really good question.
I never thought
What if
about
it was like the first whale that people saw, and they just saw them blow all that disgusting mucus out of their blowhole, and they were like, sperm whale.
Got it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's gross.
Or they kind of look like a giant sperm.
Do they?
Not
No.
really, but
And I bet we saw them and named them before we saw what sperm looked like under a microscope. This is a good question. What came first?
I'll have to look that
Sperm
up.
or sperm whales?
See, 2020, there's so much to learn.
So much. I can't wait. They do not, however, have the sound of the ejaculating on any of these lists.
Thank God.
That's weird. It's more of a look than it is.
Right.
That's really funny. Oh my God, that's so funny to me.
I was going to make a transition, but it's not actually time.
Oh, it's not? Okay, well then I can talk about your voice on other planets, which is kind of cool.
Oh no, I can't resist.
Okay.
Because that's going to be a minute. So why don't we talk about how much you love and we love Best Fiends?
Oh, I love it so
She's
much.
been waiting
oh my God,
to
we
talk
got the
about
update recently. Let's see what level I am on.
the
I've got
update.
so many, and like I love. I mean,
She's bothering me all the time.
it's
about
why I'm
it.
up late at night.
That's why
So
you're
really,
not sleeping.
it is. But you know what? I don't even care. I love it.
She loves it. There's bright colors, beautiful design, tons of characters. They keep it really fresh, too.
They give you challenges that you could do to get a bunch of the cool things, like a bunch of keys so you can unlock a secret
That's
friends.
what I'm into.
Level 205 people.
Whoa.
I know. It's serious over here.
She's committed.
Yep.
I am not at that level,
I'm
for
playing
sure.
the baby slug challenge to free the baby slugs.
Babies. And Sarah keeps cutting Lincoln off and being like, I can't download other games because she is totally
I'm like,
committed.
I got to take care of my best fiends.
Yeah. You can engage your brain with fun puzzles and collect tons of cute characters. Trust me, with over 100 million downloads, this 5-star rated mobile puzzle game is a must-play. Download Best Fiends free on the Apple App Store app or Google Play. That's friends without the R. Best Fiends. There you go.
Yeah. So,
All right, what did you... my voice on other planets.
yes.
Okay.
I would kind of wonder. I would be interested to know what my voice would sound like on Venus, where because of the thickness of their atmosphere, it drops your pitch about a half of an octave because like the heaviness slows your voice as it like moves through the climate, which is already kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then simultaneously, the quick moving fog that's there gives you a sort of like squawky quality. So they say you're going to sound like Donald Duck.
Really?
On Venus, we would sound like Donald Duck.
Really?
Yes.
Isn't that strange?
Yes. Totally strange to me that our atmosphere changes the way our voice sounds. So there's something about...
Isn't that weird?
Yes, I know.
It freaks me out.
Me too.
When you go into space in the moon, there is no sound.
Yes.
So then I don't know how they sort that out.
That is freaky to me and just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't know why. Like the idea of nothingness. I have frequent nightmares about, not like all the time, but when I do have a nightmare, there are like a few different scenarios that pop up. And when I'm like, they're kind of like nightmares or
Sure.
more like panicky. It's more
Yeah.
like anxiety-inducing than it is like something scary.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had a few the other night too. It'll either be related to, the location will either be summer camp, the challenge,
Oh my God.
or outer space.
What?
That is the place all my nightmares take place.
Paging Dr. Freud.
What is that? Like, I'm out in outer space.
Why do you think?
Like, maybe the total loss of control. Because that's what I think it comes down to, is like feeling like at any moment, because it's the same feeling when I reflect on it that I get when I go scuba diving. But it's almost like it's control, and then I kind of work through that, and it almost helps cure my need to be in control when I do go scuba diving, because you kind of surrender to the idea that you just have to focus on breathing and that's it, and you can't control your environment.
Yeah. It's so weird though, because my recurring nightmare type scenarios are very traditional. Like I've been enrolled in a class for the whole year and I forgot to do all the work or whatever.
But that's also like maybe because you were in school for so you weren't like
true, but you've never been to space and
oh my god!
According to that theory,
right. I was more applying that to summer camp and the challenge, but that is so. You're like, well, you've never been to space.
I don't want to like ruin your whole theory here. Well, but a lot of
really
people have that sort of like show up naked in class.
Yes, it's a common one. It's a real.
You have
common
a test
one. Yes.
and you didn't know. Whereas the outer space, I would say that's more unusual.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
Were you one of those people that always wanted to go to space camp?
No. Oh. The opposite. It freaks me out. I'm telling you, it like does the idea that it's seeing all those videos, not video, but like movies where it'll be like one little puncture to their suit and their whole body gets frostbite, and then you're just like watching it just seems like there are so many ways to fucking die up there that why would, like, nope, I'm good. Oh my god, it freaks me out just thinking about, like, forget it. I'm going to be that person when like we are able to colonize Mars or wherever. I'm going to be that one that's like, no, I'll tend to the farms back here. You guys go along. I'm just going to, like, keep my fingers crossed that maybe there's something, like, this Earth is still habitable. Or
I feel that same description that you're feeling about going to space and what it feels like. That's what I feel when I think about even the colonists coming to America. How it was this untamed land of just, like, wilderness, and how scary that would be.
Yeah.
And yet all these bozos came over here. I don't know what they were doing. I mean, sure, religious persecution, whatever. But, like, I feel the same way about going to space as I would about an
it's totally unknown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
but to dream about it.
Yeah, it is weird. I definitely
So wait, you're in space, and then what are you wearing? Like a whole suit?
Oh, good question. In my dream?
Yeah.
I think, what's weird is, like, I'm always inside the space station, like, chilling.
A building?
Like
type of thing?
That they're, like, there are corridors, there are big rooms, but then those weird things that, like, circle around all the time. Like, it feels like there's always something, like, rotating. I don't even know what this thing is, but, like, it seems like every space station
Satellite.
has... something there's, like, spinning around it, and, like, I have... no, it's weird, but, like, I'm inside, and usually in, like, some sort of, like, whatever the casual tracksuit that, like, the astronaut would be wearing when he's, like, walking around the space station, like, hanging out.
Tracksuit.
Yeah, I, like, imagine it to be something like a space tracksuit.
It's like...
where it's, like, a matching, like
it's Casual Friday.
Totally.
In space.
Yes.
And you're all alone?
No, actually. Usually it's a dream where somebody does something to fuck up our safety up there. There's definitely, like, a way to read into this.
Yeah, that's really strange.
Yeah,
thanks for sharing, though.
You're welcome. It does not, however, say how I would sound on the space station, but it does say that on Mars, even with full speakers blasting at full volume, you'd even be able to hear it 30 feet away.
Where? Mars.
On Mars. So when we talk about, like, colonizing Mars and everything,
no, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, unless we figure out how to, like, obviously we're not going to be just, like, walking around out there, live under a dome or something.
What do you think of Elon Musk's Cybertruck?
What? Oh, I did see that. But the way that I saw it was when he launched it and, like, presented it at, wherever he presented it.
Yeah.
And they were like,
the windows.
Yes! And they were like, hey, and the window's totally bulletproof and shatterproof. And they threw, like, a brick at it, like, not one but two, and both of them shattered. Like they do it the first time, shatter part of the window, and they're like, their thought is, oh, I know, I'll try again. And it just made it worse. And it's like,
so great.
This is kind of like, isn't that kind of what happened with Steve Jobs when he was supposed to have like the computer say its name and like it couldn't?
Really?
Yeah, it couldn't do it or failed on like when they failed.
Boy, white men are fine with failing. They fail up. It's just like, who cares?
And they also put all of their eggs into like this basket that is just like, we don't care. In the all the features of that vehicle, I could well, I don't know everybody, but I would imagine the last thing that people are like, oh, the windows shatter. Like, it's a tank and it like can do a bunch of other stuff. Whatever Elon Musk like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably has submarine capabilities. He'd save like a Thai soccer team or something.
Yeah, it's like all kinds of stuff you don't need.
Totally. I mean, we did need that, but you know.
Well, one thing we definitely do need is Just Fab clothes because they're adorable. We've been talking about them for a long time, and we've been looking cute in them for even longer, and now you should. Just Fab has basically any kind of clothes or accessories or shoes you're looking for, and they constantly update their inventory. So these are, great items that you can add to your collection that are really in style and trendy, and they're affordable, which is double the fun. And all you have to do is just go to Just Fab and you can take a 60-second style quiz if you're inclined, and they'll give you personalized outfit recommendations, which I think are very accurate. They tend to really get who I am, get a personalized boutique, and then shop all their styles. And they love you guys so much that they've given you a deal. They're offering our listeners an exclusive deal. Get your first Just Fab style for as low as $10 as a VIP. That's 75% off your first item with our special link. Just go to justfab.com/braincandy to take advantage of this deal now. That's justfab.com/braincandy to get your first style for as low as $10 as a VIP. You can also get free shipping on orders over $39, and there's absolutely no commitment when you purchase your first order. Get a sweater, get something to keep you cozy, whatevs. All right, whatevs. Now, moving on.
Well, yeah, anyways. Noises are loud. Animals are crazy.
Noises are loud.
And we would sound weird on other planets.
We learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm most intrigued just by your nightmares and...
Oh, right.
And fears in general.
Yeah,
It's so interesting.
It is fun to explore those dream things.
Yeah, do you think there's something to the idea of like certain people dream and certain people forget their dreams or don't dream much?
I think it's the time that you spend in different sleep cycles. And I think what are you doing before bed? If you're like going to bed and you are like, because I know that if I like smoke weed right before I go to bed, then I don't have the same kind of dreams. Like I won't remember my dreams as much.
Yeah.
And I've heard that your brain has to like become unstoned before it can hit those like REM cycles or sleep cycles that'll help us fall asleep. But if like sometimes it like can be,
My kid says
too.
he never dreams though. My son. Like he just says I don't usually dream. Sometimes, but not
And it's
usually.
one of those things where if you start talking about him more, then you start dreaming, you remember him more because you do dream.
Maybe he will.
And I think if you start talking about him more, Bo, you're making a lot of noise over there. Stop itching. Stop. But
okay.
Anywho, you want to
There
hear
we
a funny article that I saw? Like, there's not a lot of info in it, but I just thought you have to hear just the highlights because it just cracked me up. This part is not so. Part of it's not so funny because I'm rolling my eyes, but. A group of anti-vaxxers, that's the part I'm rolling my eyes at, are asking the media, did you see this?
No.
To stop referring to them as anti-vaxxers because they believe that it is derogatory, inflammatory, and marginalizes both women and their experiences.
What would they like to be called?
This one's funny. They want to call themselves vaccine risk aware. And the irony is they are not aware because none of their information or facts are correct.
That's really hard.
But this is my favorite part of the whole thing. The group that put out this tweet that wants to have the name.
It's like Anti-Vaxxers United.
Oh, get ready. Crazy Mothers.
Oh.
Yeah.
The crazy mothers do not want to be known for anything derogatory.
Correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do they know that some people don't like the term crazy?
That should be the follow-up. Dear crazy mothers, it has come to my attention that you are misusing the term and like, you know, whatever.
And
we
also
can make
mothers.
And also mothers.
Yeah, they're disparaging.
Yes.
I am a crazy mom, and I don't like to be associated with them.
There you go. Their crazy mothers wrote, Dear Media, please retire the use of the
Dear
term.
Media.
Yes,
Sorry,
right?
I
Like
keep
the whole
interrupting.
thing. No, you're allowed to. I do it too all the time. Please retire the use of the term anti-vaxxers. It is derogatory, inflammatory, and marginalizes both women and their experiences. It is dismissively simplistic, highly offensive, and largely false. So are your claims. We politely request that you refer to us as the vaccine risk aware. Thank you.
Well, I've never met anybody who actually admitted to being an anti-vaxxer. I know people who don't vaccinate and
Right.
or who adjust the vaccine schedule, but nobody has ever said, I'm anti-vax, period. So they must all be aware that
This woman, Talia Lavin, she said, let's just call y'all plague enthusiasts then. I was like, that's
Plague
great.
enthusiasts.
I
am sympathetic, though. I am laughing because that's funny. But
so
I am
great.
sympathetic to these folks who worry because, you know, they just want to do what's right for their kid and they're misinformed.
They're misinformed.
So I am
But like, do you
compassionate.
worry? Are you compassionate about flat earthers?
Well, the motives aren't the same.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, that is a good point. One's doing it because their intention is to protect their child.
Yeah, they truly
Totally.
believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I cannot put them in. That's a bad.
But it's okay. I mean, it's fine to
yes.
make fun of them. I
Yes.
just would like to add that if you're anti-vax, like, I get it.
Charlie Strauss thinks medically illiterate murder clowns, child killers.
Oh my God.
Are any of these?
This is like undermining my point.
Right.
But both are true.
I know. Hate-driven anti-science regressives takes longer to say, but okay.
My God. I wonder, because you know how some people that listen to us maybe aren't as into science as we are, or maybe they're
Yeah.
anti-vax.
Yeah.
I wonder how they... Do you think no one in our audience is anti-vax?
Maybe some of them are, but I think the kind of people who would listen to us if they've been like long would be like, let me go research a little more on that. They might, I think...
We'll find out. I'm sure in Brain Candy Crush after this, they'll be like...
Yeah.
I
But you know what?
never-
I didn't hear no vegans like
Nobody
piped
yelled
up.
at you?
No, but never.
I'm shocked because
Me too.
I really felt guilty
Me too.
about that whole conversation.
Me too. After we left, I was like, damn. And then the craziest part, oh, Suze, I watched, I think something that maybe you watched on food, I watched a documentary. Oh my God, what was
Forks
it?
over knives?
No, it was, I think it was it was on, or no, that show Explained.
Okay. And what did they say about it?
I just was like, there was one line that was so. Oh, it was the thing on the future of meat, and
Yeah.
would you eat like meat that is
Synthetic
or whatevs?
Uh-huh.
And there was a line that was really great, and let's see if I can remember it. The researcher, the person who's working for like the kind of like different meat group, whatever they're called. I don't know, like alternative meat. They said, we don't eat meat because it's animals. We eat meat despite it being from animals.
I agree.
And I'm like, that is so true.
Yeah.
And why we have this attachment to it being from an animal. Because when they did the taste test with the blind taste test, they did the Impossible Burger, Beyond Burger, and then regular burger.
Okay.
Almost all the kids liked the Impossible Burger the best.
No.
Yep. Almost all of them.
Okay, that's
In fact,
great.
they even were like, man, I don't like the meat one.
Get out.
I swear. Check it out. It's only like 20 minutes. It's real quick, but it like doubles down on every single thing you said. And by the end of it, I was like, fucking A, we should have definitely spent longer talking about that. And there are some real...
That's why I felt bad
Health
because
implications.
whenever I went to the farm sanctuary that encourages plant-based lifestyle, people were so happy. Like the vegans and vegetarians that we follow or that follow us were like, thank you, Susie. I really hope you talk about the podcast and like just thoughtfully discuss. And then we did the exact opposite.
We're like, what are the best hamburgers? Well, according to this, maybe the Impossible Burger would be the best.
I have
And
had
my-
it. Have you had it?
No, I had the Beyond Meat one, but I went to a place where it was like a Sunday night, and I guarantee they hadn't had a fresh shipment of their buns in a while because the buns sucked.
Well,
it was
that's
like
critical.
dry and like really bad.
Yeah, you need a good bun.
So that ruined it, and I ended up just eating the burger and around the bun because it was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I need the whole experience, a redo of all that. But yeah, that was it. It was like really shocking to me. And so for the last like 2 weeks, I've been eating a primarily plant-based diet with a few eggs.
That's the thing is that I really am leaning in. And so I feel bad that people wouldn't have gotten that impression.
Correct.
Like when I go to Little Sister, they have a vegan dish. That's what I got when we were there.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't even know it was a vegan dish. Right. I just liked it the best.
Yeah.
And then when I ordered it one time, they're like, oh, the vegan dish? I was like, huh. Oh, look at me.
Yeah. Yes, I will take the vegan dish.
And if it's delicious, as they're saying that the Impossible Burger, et cetera, is, then I think it's great.
Mm-hmm. However, I recently had a vegan restaurant that tried to do their take on chicken and waffles with cauliflower. And
that is not
good.
Work.
And it was like Thai or like Indian flavored spices, all bad, like not good. And like, yeah,
that's a misfire.
We ordered it and like, because I had gone to this place and like they only have it available on the weekends and during a certain time. So I'm like, I happen to land in the time where it's available. I'll order it because people always make a big deal out of it. So
that's
not
gross.
Good. Not good. Because that should be like sweet and savory, not like all savory.
Yeah.
They made the waffle.
Was there no syrup?
No.
Why?
They tried to do this like honey sriracha thing, but it wasn't. No.
So an animal product instead of syrup?
Oh my God, good point.
Fools. I should just run every company, I'm telling you.
Oh my God, you're so right. It was like a honey. They must have used like agave or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? But it wasn't good.
Keep trying.
End of story. Not good. Stick with the smoothie bowls, Sarah.
I can tell you this honestly. I was just thinking about it. How almost every episode I have regrets, and I almost edit crap out, and then I never do because I just think, well,
right.
I like that. We can sometimes fuck up and say things that we might disagree with eventually.
Totally.
But every time I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, well, you shouldn't feel bad about that because it's all part of like, I think us being able to speak openly and then go back and revisit things and change our opinions and look at other facts and then hear input from, our listeners and all that. That just that's like being open people and that's like being part of being lifetime learners.
Well, and I appreciate that it seems like our listeners are very forgiving.
Yes, they are.
Only rarely do people write in and say, and it's usually about crap you said.
Yeah, that's true. And I stand by all of it, so.
Doesn't care.
Yeah. I'm like, what is?
But for the most part, I think people know that this is very stream of consciousness.
Right.
We do not have an agenda.
None.
And so sometimes we say dumb stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you for your patience.
And that's the part you like. And this is what I say. It's the same
part you like.
There's a flip side to everything, And the same things that make us real funny on here can also probably make us
offensive. Well, one thing that's not offensive is making sure that your house is secure. Nobody's stealing your packages or whatever from your porch. And I love Ring because it helps me. Did I tell you how we had hooligans in our neighborhood?
Hooligans?
Like driving through my neighborhood super fast, being really loud. And I was like, I'm going to get the footage on my Ring camera.
I love this. You went straight vigilant, like neighborhood vigilante.
Right.
I like this.
Ring helps you stay connected to your home from anywhere. So basically, if you get a package or anything at your door, it'll alert you on your phone, and then you can talk to the person or tell them to leave it or whatever. And you can check in anytime from your phone if you're out of your house. And as a listener, you have an offer on a Ring starter kit available right now with a Ring Video Doorbell 2 and motion-activated floodlight cam. The starter kit is everything you need to build a ring of security around your home. With Ring, you're always home. Just go to ring.com/brain candy. That's ring.com/brain candy. Additional terms may apply.
Yes.
Okay. What else?
What else? This one I saw just a little article that was talking about how a Florida high school has unveiled these synthetic frogs that they're now using for dissection in biology class. Great.
What took so long?
My response exactly.
I guess I never thought about it, but it just seems obvious.
I cried when we had to dissect ours.
You were sad.
And I was sad, and then as soon as I cut into it and then I got crazy into it.
Well, yeah. I see both of those sides of you and
of
most
course.
people.
Right. But it was really hard for me. And I don't and nobody explained anything to me about what that would be like. I feel like the idea, and I think they were dead, right?
What do you mean?
They weren't alive.
Of course.
Yeah, they were dead. I feel like in some classes they're not dead though.
No, what do they do? Shoot them?
No, they
like
just like
guillotine.
Like put their tie their little legs down and then just cut them off. I need to know this.
They do not.
I don't know.
Sarah.
Maybe.
No, I think that it's like Fear Factor, where I think they boil them.
Oh.
Like
does that
sterilize
change the
everything.
insides, though?
I could be making that up.
I don't know.
That's
it's like
what
a
I
cooked
thought.
liver, and like it opens it up, and it's
That's
like
a good point.
right. So everything's
well,
cooked.
Then how does it die?
Yeah,
lethal injection.
These are all right. These are all important questions that I feel like we don't have the answers to. This is like an article that just asks more questions or creates more questions. But like it just made me think about that whole I can go right back to that day. I know where my son, Mr. Phillips. I know exactly what science class that was in. I sat next to Chris Albertine because I had a freaking fatty crush on him, and and I was dissecting frogs. And it was
I like that you thought that they were like hippity hopping in the box until they get to the class.
Maybe it's like I put that together because of like cartoons and movies I've seen. But it's like, you know how they like say when every time you like access a memory, you change it? Like I've accessed this memory and then combined it with things I've seen on TV. And I've definitely had like live frogs in my memory of this. It would like, I'm definitely combining a whole bunch of stuff. There was an episode. There was an episode of American Horror Story, like I think it was the Coven season or something like that, where it's all about like witches, and their whole thing is like hell is whatever our own worst situation would be, and you'd be doomed to repeat it over and over and over.
That's why I think hell is going to be a video loop of me eating fast food alone in my car.
Oh my God, that's it. God, it better. That might be my hell too.
Or like
I won't do it. I won't
like
now.
A like isolated track of all the times I sang in the car.
Oh my God, that you just have to listen to without any backup track.
Right.
But you have a great voice.
What's your personal hell?
Mine would probably be. I mean, I like the location, but as far as like things that cause me crazy anxiety that I like wasn't prepared for. Well, one of the scenes they did have it in this TV show was one of the gals has to like works at a Bed Bath and Beyond or something like that around the holidays, and just has to deal with people pulling down towels and having to refold all the towel display like forever on a loop. Yeah. And another woman who's the frog one made me think of is she had to dissect. She's like. All like her power was like bringing animals back to life, and so she was forced to dissect a frog in science class like on a loop. Aww. And would like scream and cry about it. And then like also she's like an empath, so she can feel anything that somebody else feels. So it's like her cutting into herself. Yeah, and it was like that would be her hell. Mine would probably be like a client that I saw for like 3,000 times. Like I'm working with them and they never change. Oh, because that would be like the worst. Because like it's. You know, everything takes time, of course, but, like, if I were with them for, like, 10 years and, like, they were still complaining about that, I'd be like, I don't know, this is awful. And because, like, you know. Yeah. Most sessions, you see, like, a little bit of progress. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Sometimes it's 1 step forward and 3 steps, whatever. But there's motion. Yeah. And, like, some change. That would be that might be my hell, is somebody stuck. And not even me, them stuck, and me not knowing how to help.
I hope Dahlia does a tweet or something where she asks people what their personal hell is. What's your personal hell? I bet people would have a whole bunch of different ones.
Oh, and interesting things, too.
Yeah, what's your personal hell? Like the worst thing you could think of having to endure over and over again for eternity.
Because it would have to be something that related. It's not something that just annoys me, because like then my mind goes to like things that I hate the most. Like I hate the sound of 2 balloons rubbing together. Yeah. So like what if I'm like a balloon animal maker? Like I just have to like make balloon animals. That would be awful for me. Yeah. But like I might learn to love that because like, you know. Mm-hmm. And then my first instinct when you asked that question was like, oh my God, one time when I was at summer camp, I was running a free period where like the kids get to decide where they want to go. And it's like 250 kids who get to decide which activity they want to go to.
They should not have those.
Well, I shouldn't have chosen this activity. I was like, we're going to make ice cream. What do you think 250 kids want to do after lunch? Go do wilderness arts and crafts projects?
Wilderness.
Go for a hike or make ice cream. Right. It was like a swarm of children like ran down, and like I was at the bottom of the hill, and their lunch they got like released.
That's
and it was
frightening.
It was like that. It was like a swarm of locusts or something. You're like, you see them coming, and I was like, oh my
Killer
God,
bees.
this was a bad idea. And I like jumped up on top of a table because they were all like trying to grab they would get all their supplies, and then I was holding on to the coveted chocolate chips that went in each bag, and they were like, me. It was like I was like smacking them down like they were like.
They don't know
zombies.
that we're scared of them.
No, they don't.
Like, they know that it's funny.
The more terrified I get, the funnier they think it is.
Do you think if you weren't laughing or smiling at all that they would back off?
No.
Really?
They're like, I want candy.
They're sociopaths.
Totally.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
so
that would
one,
be a good hell.
For real, I was like, I'm never... Because you just feel totally out of control. Mm-hmm. And it's like children, so you can't like do it. You're not like... What are you supposed to do? And what are they like? You have to be understanding that like they're kids, and of course they want this, and they don't know that they need to. And like I'm getting no help because none of the counselors are there with them because they're like, they're all 18
they're
anyway.
in the wilderness making crafts,
right?
With like one sweet girl.
Yes, exactly.
They can't eat sugar because she's
totally
like diabetic.
Yeah, that is exactly it.
That's so sad.
Oh my God. So that was one that popped into my head, but I'm like I like the setting. I like camp, so maybe it wouldn't be as bad. But
yeah, right.
I just remember that moment being like, I've made a mistake, and I'll never do that again. That was a nightmare.
Yeah, I wonder if like the person that made up what the quote unquote real hell is, like the fire and gnashing of teeth, if
they just had a fire phobia.
Yeah, right.
That's totally. It was like me. Who made that? What's the worst? Like, oh my God,
like
they're
a
on fire.
firefighter.
Yes.
Right. He was like, I know the devil lives completely enclosed in flames.
That's totally it.
Yeah, and maybe they had a dentistry thing. The gnashing of teeth, like they had a fear of that.
That is it's like gnashing of teeth is like a grinding. Yes?
Yeah.
Have you heard that sound from like? Because are you a teeth grinder?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I am, but I obviously when it's you don't really know what noise that makes.
Yeah.
I, as a camp counselor, once had a camper who had severely grinded her teeth to where she had like, well, and I also do. I have like a night guard that I wear. But hers was so loud, it woke up the other girls in the cabin. And if I did not know, if her mom didn't tell me that she grinds her teeth, I would have been like,
we have a wild animal here.
What? It like it does sound like bones breaking. Like there's some noise. It's so
What do you
crazy.
think? You know how a lot of people have that?
Yeah.
What is the reason you think that evolutionarily speaking, that the human body would do that?
I think it's stored up tension in the body. Like when you have anxiety, when you experience something that tension.
Why do you think it's manifest
a physiological
there, though?
Response? I think the same
as
way
opposed
that
to another thing.
Oh, I think it's different on everybody. It's whether you have, are you a teeth grinder? Do you have stomach problems? Do you get migraines? Do you, for me, my stress always comes out on my skin.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I'm going to have dry skin. I'm going to have breakout. I'm going to have eczema. I'm going to have ingrown hairs. Like there's going to be a skin.
I see. So you think just certain people.
Epidermal. Like I think you hold stress in different areas of the body based on, I don't know, who knows. Mm-hmm. Maybe people do know, but I don't.
Did she? So she was unaware, really.
She was aware, and it was really embarrassing for her. She was only 12. She was like a little girl.
Why was she embarrassed?
Because other girls in the cabin made fun of her and would say that
mean.
and would be like, "What's that? Oh, you make like," because they just don't know. So then we had to have a talk about some people, and they can't control it, and this is what happens, and da 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 da. That was a rough year for that. Oh my God, for like a million reasons. I had one really nasty girl in that cabin who was just.
Wonder what she's doing.
I would love to know. She was like the ringleader who had never come to camp before, but like went, and I couldn't get her to change out of her juicy jumpsuit that she wore the whole time. And she would carry around a purse. She's like 12. I'm like, we're at camp. You don't need that. And she kept wearing crop tops, and we had like rules against like, because it's not because. Come on, we got like the whole thing. And she's wearing like booty shorts and crop tops. And I'm like, you can't wear that. And she would do that like 3 times. And eventually I just put a bag on her that like cut a hole in the top and made 2 armholes in a black trash bag and put a sign on her that says, I don't know how to dress myself.
No.
Because I'm like, clearly my
Sarah.
punishment is not working. Oh, what? What?
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm like, you're looking like, because people like, what, like, you're looking at me like that's a terrible thing. She had to wear it to one lunch and she's fine. And she didn't follow the rules. Those are what do you think the punishment is? There's got to be some. And I could not get them to be nice to each other. So then I punished them by having to write letters to each other.
Oh,
nice.
Lord.
You have to write 500
I can't believe
words.
anyone liked you.
Well, I'm sure this cabin didn't. But they were monsters. These girls were the worst cabin I've had. They were so mean to each other. They bullied each other like crazy. And then in the very last day, we do so much at camp. We did archery. We went rock climbing. We went mountain biking. We went hiking. We went river, out on kayaks. We did a million different things. End of the week, I'm like, so, how was your week? She goes, well, we didn't really do anything. And I was like,
she probably had trouble at home. I mean, because really.
Yeah, now you say that I should have been more understanding. Because I was 21 at the time, and 21-year-old Sarah is handling.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would have done the same.
I was like, I don't know what to do. I know. I'll punish you this way. Because, not punish. Well, sort of. Here, these are your consequences. I feel like that
with a lot of kids that do weird crap at school or whatever.
Well, that's totally 100% true, and I wish I had that perspective.
Well, but what are you going to do? You still have to follow the rules.
And I got a bunch of other girls in the cabin that she's bullying.
Sarah was like, Dangerous Minds. Been spending most of
living in
Sarah's trying to wrangle
I'm Michelle
these.
Pfeiffering it. Yeah. I come in with my leather jacket on the next day. And looking cool. Yeah, trying to be I'm like you. I mean, I have
I'm
kind
not
of
a regular
camp
counselor. I'm a cool camp counselor.
Yes, that's totally it.
Well,
but apparently cool enough to land one of my former
true.
Not campers, but a former camper these days. So
yeah, how bad
shout
could you
out to
been?
Ren. Yeah,
shout out to Ren.
It must have been sort of cool. Of course, he wasn't. I didn't have him so he didn't have to see me as the mean counselor.
Yeah, you didn't make
who
him
laid
wear
the law
a bag.
Down. No, I did not.
With a sign on it.
I didn't.
You were
for
one of those...
1 second I did. She just had to walk to lunch wearing that. That was it. And then she got to take it off. She didn't have to sit the whole time in it.
You know how
she had to walk 100 yards, not even 50 yards wearing that.
You know those judges that try to get creative and they make their people wear sandwich boards on the street?
Yes.
You're like that?
Yeah. I might punish my kids in some weird ways, but then I'll probably fuck them up. No, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to control the Wi-Fi password and I'm going to change it every day based on the chores they complete.
Whoa.
And I'm going to say, sure, you can have the Wi-Fi password. Not get appropriately. What have you done? Did we do all the things we're supposed to do today? Great. Then your reward is the Wi-Fi password.
That sounds like a lot of work for you, though.
I think there are now apps that do that automatically that shuffle through it, and only for the people have thought about this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm into it. It's you want the Wi-Fi password?
Well, because that's currency.
It is.
Yeah.
Because that's what you got to do. You have to look. That's why I did the trash bag thing, because I'm for her, clearly what she's wearing is the most important, and I need to get her out of that being the most important thing at camp, because it's taking away from your camp experience.
All right,
and then if
Sarah.
you see that you had just as much fun wearing a trash bag, which apparently was no fun.
So you heard.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, one of those girls from that cabin is still involved in camp, and and I saw her just a few weekends ago.
You should ask her what that garbage bag girl's doing now.
I will. What if she was I was that girl? And I'm what? I forgot. Oh, my God. You've come so far. It's not. Shout out to CJ.
You've come so far. Anything else you'd like to share?
No. Just that I love you.
I love you too.
We talk about anti-vaxxers. We talk about frogs.
Yeah.
It's all the important stuff. What are we happying?
Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Old acquaintance be forgot.
And
never brought to mind.
Okay. I did not know the next word for that. I'm so excited for my Craigslist search of gym equipment in approximately 2.5 months.
Wow.
Because I really feel like I'm going to come up on some good stuff.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well,
because this is my year of getting fit.
Great. And we'll encourage everybody to achieve their goals. We'll keep it positive, and hopefully people will be inspired to make it a great year.
Yes.
We love you guys.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.